In the first teaching worksheet, we already seen the number line. So right here in the second teaching worksheet, we're going to look at how you'll be asked, what kind of question you'll be asked using the number line. Okay, so before we look at the questions that has got to do with number line, let's recap about how number line look like. Okay, so first of all, there will be double arrows for the number line, because that is to show that the number line can be extended on both sides. That means actually number line can be very long. So right now I'm just showing you a section. The section that I'm showing, right, will be having 0. Okay, and then on the right side, it will be the positive numbers. And in the first teaching worksheet, I did mention that you got to make sure that your number line has uniform interval. It's a bit like drawing model, 1 unit. So every 1 unit must look at the same thing. So that is the whole idea. So you can actually use your ruler. You go and measure 1 centimeter. Use your ruler to measure 1 centimeter. Okay, then you will be uniform interval. Okay, so the right side will be all the positive numbers. Then the left side will be all the negative numbers. So it will be like this. Okay, I'm not using ruler. Okay, I think you should use ruler so that the interval can be more consistent. So it will be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So if a number is very negative, it's actually very, very small. So for example here, -1 is bigger than -2. So the nearer a negative number is to 0, the bigger it is. So for example, if you have -1 and a -5, do you realize -5 is very far away from 0? So actually -5 is smaller. So when you got a very, very negative number, it's actually very, very small. Okay, so it's a bit different from positive number. So positive number, like for example, 6 is actually bigger than 3. This one you already know since B1. So for the positive number, the further away you are from 0, the bigger it is. But for the negative number, the further away you are from 0, you are actually smaller. Okay, so don't get the confusion. So we will think of negative number as something that is not good, something as like so if your bank account has you think about it as money. So when you got negative money, you actually don't have enough money. So you can relate negative with this idea first, then later on it will help you with some of the operation. You can think of negative as like insufficient or not enough, or you owe somebody. Okay, so for example, you can think of -4 as like you are lack of $4. Okay, so when minus is something like that is lagging. Okay, so later on we'll use this for some of the operation. Well, I'm going to show you the thinking process in example 1. So this is a very typical question. That is the exact phrasing. So if you look at this question, show the number line, show all these number on a number line. So show all this on a number line. So how are you supposed to show? Later on, we will show with dots. We will be showing all this with dots. Okay, so I must have a generic number line first. But obviously, number line, like I mentioned, is super long. So you must show the parts of the number line that can accommodate all these numbers. Okay, no point you go and do a number line and then you couldn't have enough for let's say 9. Then you will tell me, oh, my number line is not long enough. So that is called bad planning. you should plan in such a way that your number line must always be able to accommodate the biggest and the smallest. So in this case, you got to look at the question. Which one is the smallest? The smallest is the negative number. The biggest is actually 9. So you need to make sure, common sense will tell you, you need to make sure that your number line must be able to accommodate the smallest and the biggest. Okay, there's no point telling me my number line is not long enough. You just make it long enough. Okay, so the interval can be smaller to accommodate if you need bigger number. So in this case, right, I must make sure the smallest is a -4. So I can do it this way. So this is a -4. Okay, make sure it's regular interval. So I must make sure that it's long enough. I'm not answering the question yet. I'm only preparing my number line so that I can have the sufficient space. You can always extend it out if you need to. So make sure your number line has 2 arrows. The arrow is to show that it can be extended. So how are you supposed to show? Okay, I'm going to be using red color to show, but you cannot. You will be using pencil or ink. So you make sure that your dot is clear enough. So how do you show 5? You put a dot on 5. How do you show 9? 9 will be here. How do you show -4? You dot -4. How do you show 0? How do you show 2? So that's how you show. You show it with a dot, and the dot is on the number line. So typically, we do not show the dot that is above. Okay, so later on in Sec 4, when you put dot on top of the number, right, it actually represents something else. So you will you will show with dots. Okay, so you actually need to be very neat. So generally, you must have some thinking process first. Before you show, you must prep the number line. Okay, so that's the typical thing. And then you should be checking for the double arrows. And you should be checking for uniform intervals. And the dot has to be clear enough. So in this case, right, you realize that in this example, we are getting all the whole number. Will you be able to dot fraction or will you be able to dot decimal? Yes. So I'm going to show you I'll just be adding in. So if let's say I need to dot, okay, I will use blue color. So if I need to dot, let's say 1.5, 1.5 is 1.5, so it's somewhere here. So I can show it this way. Maybe I will need to show like 3.9. 3.9 should be very close to 4. So you just need to estimate. Okay, so just show that it's very close to 4. And what if you need to show like -2.5? -2.5 is here in the middle of -2 and -3. So you are still possible to show. Okay, so or maybe I would like to show like -0.1. So -0.1 is really very close to 0. This part. So if it's a fraction, like let's say 2 and 1/3. 2 and 1/3, if you punch calculator, is 2.333. So you just roughly estimate. So 2.333 somewhere here. So it's possible to show decimal or fraction on a number line. You are still using dots to show. Okay, so that is the kind of question that they will be asking you. Okay, later on, I will be showing you two more examples on how how questions with number lines look like.